Hey everybody, it is a cool fall day here in Virginia where I'm visiting a friend of mine. Last week I got gallivantinggaltravel.com up and running. So new website. There's not much to it so far. I just have a couple of things up there, but I'd love it if you went and took a look and let me know what you think, if you have any suggestions. And if you're working on a WordPress site, this was my very first WordPress site. So if you're doing the same thing, I will link to a tutorial. It's 3.5 hours. I mentioned it in another video, but it showed me how to set up the entire site, and then I tweaked it the way I wanted, and I was really happy that it was so simple to set up. It took some time and investment, obviously, but the tutorial really made it step by step. Set it up and you're good to go. Social media continues to be a fickle mistress. I've decided to stop focusing on it so much, stop trying to figure out the algorithms. I think for the most part, people on Twitter and Instagram that follow you randomly are just looking for you to follow them, and they're not really interested in what you're doing. So what's really important, I've discovered, and it's probably pretty obvious, is the content. I'm revamping my strategy and pretty much solely focusing on video content. I'll continue to use social media to promote as I create videos, but less time interacting with people or having conversations, and more just putting it up there just so I know it's out there. And then once I've built up more content, I'll be able to reassess my social media strategy. I think just the most important part of doing something like this is quality, really focusing on what your audience wants to see rather than how to promote it. On the business front, I submitted my first invoice. If you are doing something similar, I've mentioned this as well before, but cited.com lets you do free invoicing for up to 10 clients. And I did that for my first one, just generated a PDF and emailed it, but it's exciting because I get to bring in some revenue. And it lets you not only track and send invoices and mark them as paid when they come in, it also lets you track your expenses for your business. So it's a good place to start when you are just starting out and don't have a lot of budget for software. Also, I've got my second consulting gig going on with my same former company, a new client, a small project they need somebody to work on. So I'm excited because hopefully that will keep moving along, and I can have some ongoing financing for my travels. But starting on that'll go through the end of the year. It'll probably be about 10 hours a week, which is great, perfect for what I'm looking for. And then in order to deal with the taxes and business side of things, I've decided I'm gonna wait until 2018, basically to the end of the year, to start filling out the paperwork to incorporate and start the actual business, because I think taxes will be easier in 2017 if I just go with being paid as an individual. And then starting in 2018, I can deal with the taxes and paying for payroll and all of those things you have to do when you actually incorporate a business. If you're looking to start your own consulting or freelance, I am planning to do a video on all of this regarding setting up the business itself and dealing with payroll and taxes. So please subscribe to the channel if you're interested, because that will be coming out later this year. And then of course, since I came back from my trip, I did 5 more days of piano practice, did some more walking with my mom, and a few days of Spanish. I would welcome your feedback on staying motivated for learning foreign languages. I really love playing the piano, and I'm happy to get on it an hour a day or more, but the foreign language motivation still continues to be a challenge for me. But it did feel really good to get back into things this last week, and since I'm out of town again visiting a friend, my biggest challenge this week is going to be figuring out how to practice piano. I've decided I'm going to try to go to the nearest guitar center next week, each day of the week, and see if I can get away with practicing on one of their pianos for an hour a day, see how long it takes before they ask me politely to leave. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. And I do have a question for you guys. Do any of you out there play the piano, or are trying to learn piano, or some instrument that it does not easily, you can't easily travel with? So basically anything but the harmonica, or maybe the mouth flute, I forget what it's called. If you play anything that's hard to travel with, what do you do? Do you find a music teacher when you travel? Do you just forget about it while you're traveling? I would love to hear what other people do in these sort of situations. Also this coming week, I am going to be working on a video about the Schengen region. This is something I've brought up many times, and I've also seen a lot of posts on social media, and I have seen multiple people who have never heard of it. One woman recently posted that she spent a year in France. She didn't say when. I assume it was before 1995 when this took effect, but a lot of people just aren't aware that as an American, or basically as someone who's not a European citizen, you can only spend 3 months out of every 6 months in most 26 countries in Europe, which is it's most of Europe essentially. So I'll do a video on all the specifics of this so that if you are traveling there, you understand the rules so you don't get a fine or get jail or whatever the potential penalties are for disobeying the rules. Next week, I will also be starting on some product reviews. I'll be starting with some comparisons of a couple of Briggs & Riley suitcases that I have. I mentioned one of them in one of my videos and another one I got recently, and I want to kind of compare the pros and cons of each because I think they're both great suitcases. Briggs & Riley is one of the top rated luggage manufacturers, but I just want to share my findings with what I've done. And then of course a lot of the other travel products that I have purchased in the last few months I've finally gotten to use, so I'll talk a little bit about them and where you can go to buy them. So a lot of new content ideas are coming along and I'm very excited to get working on them. And that is this week's update. Thank you for joining me. Please comment below on how you stay motivated when you're learning a foreign language. Let me know what you think of gallivantinggaltravel.com. Do you think that I should put link all my videos on it? I'm not really a writer. I prefer to talk, so it won't probably be much of a blog, but I'm not sure if I want to go the route of trying to put repeat everything on there that I have on YouTube and on other social media platforms, or if I should go more the route of what Casey Neistat does. If you go to casey.nyc, caseyneistat.com, it's just literally one page with links to his social media. So I could go that route. I'd love to hear your feedback and what you think, so please subscribe, comment, and stay tuned.